Welcome, everybody. This is John Paul Mendoza, Doctor of Speed Selling. This is the Raging Verbalist. This is a bonus session because in our midst, secretly hidden, without knowledge of mine of any kind, I found out that our one and only, the ever lovely Sandra is actually snuck in under the wire, avoided the guards and all the others, and went to the Berkshire Hathaway meeting in Omaha, Nebraska. So Sandra, come on in and tell us about this. I mean, you were at the shareholders meeting. I mean, did you have to, have a smile on your face? Did you have to, bribe a guard? How'd you get in there?
So yes, I did go to the annual shareholders meeting with my parents and my husband, and both my parents and my husband and I are shareholders. We try and go annually. We enjoy ourselves. So no bribes were necessary this time around. But yeah, it was a good time. We like to go. We like to, people watch and listen to the meeting and all of that fun stuff. So, and it's, right here in Omaha. So why not go?
Well, it sounds like, in Omaha, this is like a big ticket. So talk to me about, so what goes on at this? I mean, let's kind of talk a little bit about what's happening there. I mean, do they have exhibits? Do they have jugglers? Do they have, contortionists? What do they have?
Yeah, so they have the exhibit hall. So you've got all the vendor booths. So you've got Dairy Queen, Fruit of the Loom, Burlington Northern Santa Fe, just all the different Berkshire companies who have a booth. And so they have special discounts, and the shopping day they do reserve for Friday, which is like the day before, which, I mean, it's open Friday and Saturday, but that's like when people, primarily go shopping. But they also have special events. I don't know about jugglers. Maybe that happened one year prior to my going. You never know. But they also own Borsheim's and Nebraska Furniture Mart. And so they'll do like live music and free drinks at Borsheim's, like a Borsheim's evening. And then they call it like a picnic at Furniture Mart, where they'll do like hot dogs, hamburgers, check out the deals. And then I don't know about this year, but I know in years past they've done a 5K on Sunday. So it's like a 3-day thing,
It's called Woodstock of Nebraska, huh?
That's right. That's right.
Not quite that, there's no, people outside in the mud and, taking lots of drugs and all that, so the closest thing to drugs is the peanut brittle from See's Candy, right?
That's right. That's right. Very addicting. Very addicting.
My understanding is that on stage when Charlie is there, Charlie Munger, is that Charlie will be chomping away at the peanut brittle on a consistent basis.
Constantly. Like, I should have taken like little tabs on how many times, like every couple minutes, he was just eating. And you could hear it in the microphone too. You'd pick it up every once in a while. I'd be like, it's like, push that thing away from him.
So if it was a drinking game from your from college days, you'd have to worry about alcohol toxicity problems. Is that it?
That's right. That's right. Very much so.
So can anyone go to the shareholder meeting? I mean, if you just show up and everybody gets to go, I mean, what's the story? How do you get in there? How do you get to the the inner sanctum?
All right, so you have to have credentials to be able to get in, but each shareholder is given 4 credentials, so 4 of these. And so if you have extra, if you know a shareholder and they have an extra, they can give you the hookup and you can go. Or what some people do is they'll actually sell them online. So I've seen them online on like eBay for $25. So look online, look around, but it's usually a good mix of people. And a cool thing that some of the colleges around here do is they'll let business students go in as a group. So that's kind of cool. They get to learn like outside of the classroom. And so, yeah, a mix of people, anybody can go. I've seen parents bring their kids, grandparents bring their grandchildren. It's like a family affair.
Well, if they're selling for 25 bucks on eBay, it's a little different than going to the Super Bowl. I had a lot of thought about going to the Super Bowl because at one point in time I was an LA Rams season ticket holder, and then I had a little bit of a sticker shock, and the thing that really just gave me pause is that you had to pay, no matter how you got there, you had to pay for the VIP parking, and VIP parking was $900 minimum just to get to the Super Bowl. Even if you took a limo or an Uber, you still had to pay for the parking, which seems a little crazy, but so it isn't quite that bad. I mean, you're not quite up to Super Bowl numbers.
And I don't know of VIP parking even available, but it's parking is $10 if you can swing it. So,
well, and if you're a
go.
Berkshire Hathaway shareholder for a number of years, you should be able to swing the $10, get that sawbuck there. So how long have you been, doing this ritual and, and all that? I mean, it sounds a little bit like a cult, so I'm just a little concerned. So if you're, if you're in trouble, blink out an SOS for us if you're in trouble. But so how long have you been going to these things?
I was trying to remember and actually like look back at old pictures as a family that we've taken there. And I can't recall if it was 2015 or 2016. So 5 or 6 years. So not too terribly long, but yes, it's definitely a cult atmosphere. But they didn't have it the last couple of years because of COVID. So, glad to be back. That's for sure.
Well, sounds like so many things. I mean, now they're back up and they're popular. So yeah. So is there something unique? Is there something that, I mean, you could just whisper and say, "Ooh, this happened"? I mean, so what happened that was really stood out?
So one thing that they do before the actual meeting starts is they do they'll do like commercials from the different companies, that sort of thing. Some you've seen on TV, some maybe not, but they'll specifically do a video with a celebrity guest, and it's only there. They never put it online, so woohoo. And they may always make an announcement if you see anyone taking a video, gotta get them out of here. So exclusive to the meeting, but and it's usually a comedy too. It's just a fun little skit that they do. And this year's had Bill Murray in it, and Warren Buffett was continually it was like Groundhog's Day. He was waking up to no annual meeting and just kind of going crazy and trying to get into the event center in town. And Bill Murray was the security saying, "Is your name on the list?" And he's like, "It's Buffett. I see a Jimmy Buffett." And he's like, "No." And they have to keep dragging him out of the building. So, and then actually, because they break it into a couple sections, the meeting is like 8:30 to noon, lunch break, and then the afternoon session. But so after the first part got done, my family and I went to the exhibit hall, and that's where Bill Murray was doing an interview with CNBC. So we got to see that a little bit firsthand. So that was kind of fun. Yeah, and they just have special discounts for people there. Like I said earlier, they do like 5K. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun to kind of go and listen and learn and have a good time and enjoy the time. Yeah.
So did you buy anything? Did you help support, the cause? What did you end up getting? What were some of the things that you bought or you purchased?
Yes. So they have Fruit of the Loom. They have what's the other one? Oriental Trading Company.
So we're talking underwear with Fruit of the Loom.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, so did you? We
did get some. I mean, it it was special to the event. If you can see it with my light there, it's got some $1,000 bills on it. Exclusive to the meeting. So this might show up on eBay. Maybe not. So
this is when. And we rarely get, we don't get into politics. We have relatively, kind of tame, maybe not too tame, but so this is so you can wear your Fruit of the Looms and say, to your significant other, show me the money. And that is an indication of disrobing and all of that. Is that the point
Well,
of this?
that wasn't the purpose of this, but I mean,
Well, but show me
that
the
is
money.
something we could do.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. I mean,
And then-
I can't imagine that Warren isn't into, some pretty wild stuff. I mean, once you
There
get
you
past the
go.
peanut brittle, it goes crazy.
That's right. That's right. And then moving along from that risque subject. No.
Well, we're not
I
asking
also-
you to put them on now.
Oh,
But,
yeah. Well, I also got this shirt, the blazer bag. That's this one was really popular, and because I am very small, they still had plenty in my size at least. So
Yeah,
but in
all the jumbo size sea candy folk, no, they sold
no
out of
luck.
those
Yeah,
things
sold
quick.
out. Shopping day, it was gone.
So you bought some underwear, bought a t-shirt, bought some other stuff,
There you go.
I mean,
Yes.
and for those who don't know, Berkshire Hathaway just has a ton of different companies. NetJet is there. So, I mean, I assume that they weren't giving away free rides in a jet or anything, but
No, you could tour. They had one parked inside though, so you could like go see the inside of it. So
was
they
it
have that every
nice?
year. Of course, it's nice.
Okay.
I
Well,
did not buy any, private jet, unfortunately, but maybe next year.
maybe next year.
Maybe next
Okay.
time, yeah.
All right. Anything else that you did? I mean, so you got to see Bill Murray. That's cool. Yeah. Got to heckle him a little bit. So
That's right.
So what do you think is the key takeaway that from going to an event like this? Because I know people who just go crazy over anything that Warren Buffett says, and Charlie, and again they're a little out of phase with some things. I know that they and maybe you could touch on this a bit, but they seem to not be fans of crypto at all, cryptocurrencies.
No, they're not a fan of crypto, and there's always like investing advice and that sort of thing that you can always take away from it, of course. What was the other thing he said? That Warren Buffett compared Wall Street to a gambling parlor. The list kind of goes on that sort of thing. So opinions do differ, but there's always that kind of advice there. But I would say that a takeaway that I had was Warren's response to, it was a young girl. She looked around like age 12. So they do like Q&A, and different people, they'll take online Q&A, and then people that are actually there can stand at the microphone and ask questions. She was one of them. And she basically said, hey, can you tell me what's something that I can invest in? And so he said, I'll give you something better than like just a stock to invest in. He said, something that you should always do is learn to be exceptionally good at something. And he said, the best investment by far is investing in yourself. And so essentially, kind of in a nutshell of the different things that he said was, learn something new. He's a big reader. So, read up on things, educate yourself. If you're naturally talented in something, be the best that you can in that. And so and he also said it's not necessarily like higher education or going to school, but just, really honing in on those skills. And that's great advice for anybody, whether you're investing or not, young or old. I think that's fantastic. So one good takeaway for sure.
Well, and I think that's probably the most interesting, not most interesting thing he's ever said, but I think it was one of the most interesting things to observe is that really successful people end up being curious. They have a set of opportunity eyes. They're always learning. They're always reading. They're always trying to find out a little bit more. And that seems to be a theme that runs through, all these types of super successful individuals. So, well, I'm glad that you were able to go to Berkshire Hathaway shareholder meeting and of course to share it with our audience and to come on and do a bonus where, the focus is on you and not, me, doing what I do. And sounds exciting, and in fact, I've got to figure out how to, maybe I need to buy a share of stock and get in there and, get to go there because sounds fascinating. And the bet, well, here's the thing that I think everybody should do is that if you haven't studied, and it's not everything that Warren says is perfect, is to go out there and read some of the things that he has done over the decades, he and Charlie, and all of the things that they have put together, because there's a lot of really good insights, common sense, and more importantly, is the fact that he has the courage to do something which I think not a lot of people do, which is to have this event in Omaha, multiple days. You get to see the companies that represent some level of connection to your wealth and what you've got. And I think it's really easy for people to say, big business. Now, I'm sure that they didn't have a diesel locomotive for the trains, and they didn't have this and that. But what it does is it gives you an idea of all the different ways that you can make money in this world. Warren has, proven that if you have a really good head about you, you can make yourself successful. Any last words before we wrap up?
Couple of things. I guess if you do want to be a shareholder, you need a minimum of 2 shares of the B stock to get the credentials. So for next year. And then, oh shoot, what was I going to say? You look it up online. You can look different videos up from the meeting and just take other advice away from it. Cause like you said, lots of great insight over the years. So go learn something, make yourself more successful at something.
Well, excellent. All right. Well, can't end on a better note than that. So this is John Paul Mendoza, the Dr. Speed Selling, the Raging Verbalist, and of course the ever lovely Sandra, who shared with us going out and spending some time. Nothing like living in Mecca for Berkshire Hathaway, which is right there in Omaha. Probably the smartest thing that Buffett ever did was he stayed in the Midwest. He was not influenced by Wall Street the way other people are. And he avoided all of the kind of fads and trends and all that, and just did good, solid investing, which is, I think, great advice for everybody. And for all of you who need a disclaimer, we're not giving you any financial advice, but here's the advice that I think both Sandra and I would agree on, which is go learn something today, learn something tomorrow, learn something every day. And what you'll find is that you will have a richer, better life, and you'll probably end up with more money too. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one.